Oh. So, Yeah. Well, I'm gonna take notes on my phone. Yeah, that way I can copy and paste.
I've sent out.
What's going on?
I mean, how I melt it.
See, I feel.
Oh, man, I'm getting that right. We were just on the past, yeah. Hey, are you going to that right?
Yeah, I'm down there now.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. People in here, y'all still.
Y'all work the couple lines on it?
Well, I'm trying.
How short was your,
I know, I read it up. They're just around it. I get that. Cop showed up and like, it's got numbers ladder. And I was like. Why? Well, let me show you.
And then I do. It'll run up here. Yeah. Good afternoon. It's 12:03, so we'll go ahead and get started.
We are going to take a moment of silence as we remember the lives lost as a result of the attacks on 9/11. And then followed by Scott Marshall with the pledge, and then Judge McGee from Eulenberg.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In your packet, and previously emailed out, we need to get the minutes from the last approved. Thank you, Judge Newcomb. All right, thank you. All in favor? Any opposed? Okay. Next, we have our financial report with Mayor Kevin Cotton, the PeADD treasurer.
Thank you so much. Appreciate the invitation to come up and give a financial report. I've been asked to not make a motion today. By Chrissy.
That is not true.
So we should be at 16.67% of the budget. We are currently at 10.17% of the budget. So doing really well. The one area that you'll see that we're kind of right on the line is our staff travel at 16.33%. And the reason for that is most of the conferences were this last month. So a lot of those funds have been expended out over the last month. But that puts us right at 10.17%. Anybody have any questions about the financial report?
He was waiting.
We have.
Thank you.
Thank
We have a motion and a second. All in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
You have to keep these two separated.
I didn't even do anything. Next, we have our federal and state reports. We have Morgan Alfie with Senator Mitch McConnell's office.
Good afternoon, everyone. Good to see everybody today. I will just do a quick legislative update. The Senate came back into session last week following August recess. There is a lot on the to-do list, most notably the fiscal year ends the end of this month. The Senate is likely to consider a package of 3 of the 12 annual appropriations bills this week. Of course, there's the likelihood of some type of continuing resolution will be necessary at the end of the month. But it will be a long month in DC as we look toward some sort of temporary CR. And then there's also a lot of other items on the to-do list this year Farm Bill reauthorization is up, FAIA reauthorization is up, the National Defense Authorization Act, which I know that that's always an item of interest here in this community, given Fort Campbell. So a lot of different items for the House and Senate to sync up on this month and for the rest of the year. As always, if there's any way our office can be of assistance, don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you.
Thank you, Morgan. Next, we have Alex and Martha Jane King from our governor's office.
MJ gets the easy job. She gets cleanup duty for anything I miss. So good afternoon, everybody. Great to be back with you today on this beautiful day. Wanted to start out by saying thank you to everyone who came out to the Governor's Local Issues Conference last month. We had a record crowd and a great conference. So thank you all so much for being a big part of that. The governor has a busy week of travel throughout West Kentucky this week, including several stops in the Penny Ryle. Starting on Wednesday at 3:30 p.m., we'll be back in Dawson Springs for the dedication of another new home on Lucas Circle. Again, this Wednesday at 3:30 p.m. And that home's made possible in partnership with the Fuller Center and the Team West Kentucky Tornado Relief Fund as well. And then on Friday, the governor will be here in Hopkinsville for the groundbreaking of the new high school at 9 a.m., followed by some award announcements at 10:30 a.m. in Cadiz at the True County Courthouse. So hope to see you all for any of those stops. Looking ahead a couple of weeks, the governor will be in Madisonville on Wednesday, October 4th for Alstrom Monk Show's grand opening and ribbon cutting celebration at 11 a.m. I know that's a big, important project for the whole region, Mayor. So look forward to seeing you all for that. And the governor always welcomes you all to join him for any of those stops when he's in the region. Of course, today is September 11th, and we remember and honor those lives that were lost 22 years ago. As I was driving down the parkway this morning at 11 a.m., I saw one of our volunteer fire departments was flying the American flag high above the parkway overpass. And that's what makes our Commonwealth and our country the best place to live on earth. So if we can ever be of assistance, please don't hesitate to reach out to us.
Thank you, Alex. Martha Jane.
Well, good afternoon, and it is good to be here with everybody, and thank you for the pie, whoever got the chest pie, it's great.
I made that.
Is that you? So, as Alex said, the governor's going to be over in this neck of the woods, and he's going to be with me, but it's out of the Penny Ryle Area Development District, so I won't give you the schedule for over at Bardstown. Anyway, today is the remembrance of 9/11, and Governor Beshear and the Ashland mayor and the police department and fire departments had a memorial service this morning in Ashland. And of course, the governor directed all flags to be flown at half mast as we remember everybody that was lost during 9/11. And as Alex said, it's what makes the country great. And I never will ever forget how we all felt. You know, that was one time we all came together. No worries, party, affiliation, color, anything. And I don't want to ever have a situation like that, but I'd love to bring that feeling back to the country. It would really be nice and get away from the division. That said, Governor Beshear is supporting the Penny Ryle Regional Energy Agency, which is the design and right-of-way acquisition phase for the natural gas pipeline project, which will serve Todd County, Caldwell, Lyon, and Trigg in Western Kentucky with the possibility of expansion. And so right now, there's some property, I was discussing it with Alex, that we think would be really good in Lyon County to put a meter there. So we're in the process of discussing that. Governor Beshear announced last week 3 projects in Todd County made Todd County number 5 in the United States for best county by project per capita. Those investments were Novellas, Calmaine, and Delavan Ag Pumps with a total of $4.6 million investment and 180 jobs. Number 5 in the United States, Todd County. That's not bad at all. Congratulations. Governor Beshear wants to thank the county judge executives, magistrates, mayors, fiscal court, and the workers at the road department, and those that were planning to make sure we had sewer, water, and enough electricity to serve those companies coming to the county. You know, it takes everybody in today's charged environment. Everybody says, well, who gets credit? What's going on? But looking around this room, we know that it starts at the bottom, everybody working together, everybody trying to get things done for the counties, regardless of party, to do what's best for your communities. And Judge McGee back here in Muhlenberg County is working very hard to get broadband Wi-Fi to the people in North Muhlenberg County. And he's trying to get everybody to the table, which sounds like you're doing a good job. And if we can do anything to help you, of course, the governor always supports that. So thank you, Judge, and thank you all. And that's all I have.
Thank you. Looking into our staff reports next. First, we have Amy Frog with Community and Economic Development.
Good afternoon. Just got a couple of things that I wanted to bring your all's attention to this afternoon. If you would refer to your packet, there is a flyer in there. It's blue and yellow, looks like this. This is the beginning of our energy survey that we're undertaking with the Energy and Environment Cabinet. Again, you all have heard me talk the last couple of months about this project that we're undertaking with them relative to energy assets, energy response system, and then mitigation projects to support those energy needs. So this survey, again, is the first step in this project to start gathering data about our critical facilities and their backup energy needs. We are asking our emergency managers to assist us in getting this out on the street. This survey is going to be rolled out this Friday, September 15th, and will remain open until the end of November. This survey takes about 5 minutes to complete. You can get there through that QR code or through the link that's outlined there on that flyer. Our GIS department is in the process of putting together some spreadsheets of critical facilities to help track those responses. But if we do see that we're not getting those responses in a timely manner, we may be asking for your all's help in getting those. Ultimately, the data that's received from this survey will help us identify generator projects that we can turn around and apply for some federal or state funding as those opportunities become available. If you have any questions about this project or need help completing this survey, you can always give me a call. Secondly, if you'll look in your newsletter, there's a little article in there about the House Bill 9 initiative. That application has now officially been released as of the end of August. As a reminder, these are state dollars that the legislature put in place during the last session to provide match dollars for federal funding opportunities for projects that are in those energy priority communities, which all of our counties are designated priority communities with the exception of Christian and Trigg at this time. DLG has established this program as the grant program. Again, they're going to start evaluating the applications that they receive on a couple of different criteria, including whether or not they do take place in one of those priority communities, whether or not the project serves a public purpose, and will it enhance the quality of life in those communities. I've spoken with several of you already about some potential projects. We've already got some in the pipeline that we're putting applications together. So as you continue to develop those large impactful projects, if you'll let us know, we can assist you with getting those applications submitted. Also in your packet, you will find the Intergovernmental Review Summary Report. We had 10 projects this last month that were submitted for review. If anyone has any comments to make on those projects, if you would get those to us, we'll get those submitted for the review process. And then lastly, I want to remind you all about the Regional Transportation Committee meeting tomorrow that will take place at 10 o'clock in this room. It's a very important meeting. We will be assigning boost points to those projects, those transportation projects that you are looking to get funded. So it's important that you come out and give those points to the projects that you all feel are important for that process. I don't have any questions. That's the end of my report.
Thanks, Amy. Next, we have Jill Collins with Area Agency on Aging and Independent Living.
Good afternoon. September is a really busy month for the Area Agency on Aging and Independent Living. We have a lot going on. Just going to give you some updates on some of the events. September 25th through 27th will be our regional senior games events here in Hopkinsville. That's for all 9 counties. And those are available to individuals 50 and over. And that's a 3-day event. And the goal behind senior games is to promote active lifestyles and healthy aging. So if you have individuals in your county that are interested or have questions, they can see us and we'll make sure that they get a registration packet and get them over to senior games. It's a lot of fun and it's probably one of our most enjoyable events that we offer. We partner with Parks and Recreation and we'll expect about 250 participants signed up for the year. September 23rd here in Hopkinsville is our Walk to End Alzheimer's. That's another large event that we have every year, and that is a partnership with the Alzheimer's Association. We have a team here at the PeADD that will actually be on site and will participate in the walk. The funds raised go to research for Alzheimer's and other related dementia. We have the National Family Caregiver Support Program here that works with individuals and families and caregivers impacted by Alzheimer's, offering supportive services and support groups during the year. Last month, I mentioned that our Kentucky Caregiver Program is back. That's our Grandparents Raising Grandchildren program. That program has just gotten off to a great start. We're already serving families, getting referrals every week for grandparents that are raising grandchildren in their home. And so we have been able to hire a staff member to help us coordinate that program, and that is Miss Christy Combs, if she would stand. Christy started with us just a couple weeks ago. She's a graduate of the University of Louisville, has a bachelor's degree in social work, and is currently enrolled in the Advanced Standing Master's of Social Work program through the University of Louisville, and is also doing an internship through Traeger Institute through the University of Louisville. So speaking of the University of Louisville, they have an opportunity for nominations across the state to recognize older adults age 85 and older. It's called the Gold Standard Award. And I think we have a slide that we can pull up regarding our Gold Standard Awards. We're really excited. There's a lot of great things coming out of Todd County already, but this is great for Todd County too. We had 4 individuals from Todd County who will be recognized by the University of Louisville at the ceremony on September the 22nd. The University of Louisville President's Office contacted me a couple weeks ago to let me know that we had 4 nominees that were submitted from our district. And so you can see we have 4 individuals listed here, Mr. Frank McReynolds, Barbara Jordan, Mr. Jack Weber, and Miss Jeanette Sharp. All of these individuals are 85 and older, and they are being recognized because they've led engaged and flourishing lives and inspire those around them with their zest for life. So Mayor Green from Elkton has graciously volunteered to drive a van. He's getting a 15-passenger van, and he's going to be taking all of our nominees and a family member to Louisville on that day. I will be there as well to see these individuals recognized for their contributions to their community. So we're really excited about that for the individuals, for Todd County Senior Center, and for our region. This is a great honor, and I'm proud that we were able to be part of that. So congratulations to those of you all from Todd County. I also want to mention that September is National Senior Center Month, and our senior centers are important for a lot of different reasons. And we have 9 senior centers throughout our region, and they're all considered multi-purpose centers, meaning that they can access a lot of different things when they go to the senior center. So an individual can go to the senior center and receive education and information. They can receive nutrition services. They can have a hot meal at the senior center 5 days a week. They can participate in activities such as Tai Chi and bingo size and silver sneakers and lots of other activities that include cards, Bible studies, things like that. But one of the most important things about a senior center, it offers socialization. So socialization is so important, especially coming off the pandemic when individuals were so isolated during that time. And one of the main things that I see in the senior centers a lot is the opportunity for individuals to come in, get a cup of coffee, and just sit down and have a conversation with somebody, or to sit down and eat a meal in a congregate setting and not have to eat alone. I don't know about you all, but I like to have company when I have a meal. A meal is not always about just nutrition, but it's about the socialization as well. So we have a lot of great things going on in our senior centers. And if you're not in the senior centers, I invite you to go visit the one in your county. I think you'll be surprised at all the activities and events that go on during the week at the senior center. They all have a lot of activities, and we have a lot of special activities that are going to take place during the month of September to recognize National Senior Center Month. Jason is also going to be out the senior center. He's going to be on a home delivered meal route with us to deliver meals out and meet some of our home delivered meal clients. So we're excited to have Jason out there too, not only so that he can see some of our clients, but they can see him as well. And I think that's important. So with that, I do have just a short video that I'm going to show that just kind of highlights some of the things that goes on in our senior centers. And again, I would just like to invite you all to stop and visit if you haven't done so. And if you're interested in learning more, or even going out on a home delivered meal route, or participating in one of our programs and services, let me know, and I'll be happy to help you engage in one of those activities. Thank you.
Thanks, Jill. Next, we have Tom Scholler with the West Kentucky Workforce Board.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I guess it's appropriate I follow the senior citizens group. Somebody's trying to tell me something, but I already know it, folks, and I admit it. I'm glad of it. Proud of it. I want to bring to your attention a few things real quick. First of all, Sheila's not here today. She has a doctor's appointment out of town, so she regrets she could not be here. So I'm standing in for her. So I will try to fill her shoes. A couple of things I want to bring to your attention. The Workforce Board and our partners, we continue to work with economic development agencies, and in particular, I want to mention Southwest Kentucky Economic Development Council. We've been working with them quite a bit here recently with a couple of new companies that are looking to come to the area, and then also with companies that have announced that they're coming to the area, into the region. One being Toyota Bashuku. They have already started their groundwork out by the Walmart Distribution Center in the South Park area. And we have met with some of their team leaders and HR management people just here recently in conjunction with Hopkinsville Community College, EDC, Murray State, as far as that goes, their engineering department, because they will be hiring a lot of engineers and need engineers. So it's been a team effort with that group. And we'll be meeting with them more here soon. That will be hiring 157 employees. We gave them they presented to us a suggested timeline, and we prepared a ramp up for that. And hopefully we'll get together here soon again. Ascend Elements, we've been meeting with them, likewise working with them on their ramp up. It's going to be a little bit longer in their overall project because it's a lot more large scale project. If you get a chance, you might want to go out to Commerce Park 2, cross railroad tracks there where CSX is. Go up the hillside and look to your left. You can't miss it. It's huge. So yeah, if you get a chance, you might want to go out there. Along the same lines, I want to mention we were working with other individuals in other counties with job fairs. We were recently assisted in Todd County, here in Christian County, and also in Hopkins County with job fairs. And we also work with existing companies in the whole region and posting their needs as far as employment. We put it on our social media pages, on our websites. So if you have organizations in your area that needs assistance, please get that information to me or to one of our partners, and we'll gladly distribute it. We work together well, and we want to make sure we get that information out because everybody is needing employees. Along the same line, in your packet, there's a couple of flyers I want to bring your attention to. One's a hiring event on 9/21 at the Breathitt Center here in Hopkinsville. I think he may be close to being full on that event. He's starting to back up as far as a monthly event. He skipped some of the summer months due to school being out and people on vacations, but starting to back up on September 21st, and we'll continue monthly. And then also on October 24th, the Job Expo in Madisonville. It's always a big event, and I want to make sure you pay attention to that. So if you know companies that are wanting to hire or needing individuals, I would encourage you to send them their way because there's a lot of companies that go from other regions that come into this area and go to those events. I go down there quite often and go through them. A couple other things I want to call your attention to. One is expungement events. In your newsletter, there's an article on the front about the one recently held in Muhlenberg County. It was a very successful event. I'm not going to read the whole thing to you, but I do want to point out that it was a partnership collaboration between Muhlenberg Economic Growth Alliance, Department of Corrections, Division of Reentry Services, and 2 Muhlenberg County attorneys, which provided their services. So they had 35 individuals that registered. Of that, 19 were eligible for expungement. And the caveat to this is the Felix Martin Foundation covered the $40 fee for the expungement of those individuals. These programs are designed to get people back in the workforce. And obviously employers are needing workers. I know there was an event held recently in Hopkins County along the same line. I don't know the numbers that went through that event, but it was pretty successful, what I've heard. Then there was also one here in Hopkins with the Breathitt Career Center about a month ago, which there were 84 individuals that showed up for that event. I did not get a feedback yet on how many were eligible for the expungement. So these events are beginning to attract more and more people. And as I work with companies out in the region, more and more companies are more allowable to allow individuals who have been incarcerated for lower class misdemeanors or felonies to hire them as expunged individuals. So it's just an opportunity to build our workforce, and hopefully more and more companies are going to take advantage of that. One other area I want to address is healthcare. The State Chamber of Commerce, in conjunction with some of the local chambers, one being here in Hopkinsville, has announced the talent pipeline management for healthcare. And this is going to encompass the whole West Kentucky region. You're going to hear more about it if you're affiliated in healthcare. Some of the county attorneys and mayors may hear about it more. The lead for the West Kentucky area is a lady by the name of Katie Walker. She actually lives in Murray, but she'll be representing and coordinating the healthcare hospitals, It could be nursing facilities, all sorts of healthcare. And this program is designed to get individuals interested and into the pipeline to get them to the right places, to get them to work and to build up the workforce for these areas. I know healthcare is an area that really has been hit and struggling. So hopefully this program will work and work well. Katie met with Sheila and myself last week. She was here and we gave her some names of contacts and local facilities that hopefully she will incorporate into her first meeting. So stand by for that. Last, I want to mention Amanda Davenport. I want to recognize Amanda, your own. She was recently elected chair-elect of the Kentucky, I'll make sure I have it right here, the Kentucky Economic Development Association. Okay. And they had a meeting in Madison last Thursday, which I attended. Amy was there also. Some good discussions about the needs and for our area, for the West Kentucky area, and the advantages that we have, then also some needs that we have. So I thought it was a very good meeting and hopefully we'll get some good results from that. Last but not least, I want to call Derek Poor up to the podium. Derek is our Veterans Transition Liaison at Fort Campbell. If you haven't met Derek, I encourage you to. He's doing a lot of good work at Fort Campbell and helping recruit not only the transition of military, but also their spouses into the workforce. And he's got a program he wants to highlight that's fairly new and it's been successful already.
All right, thank you, Tom. Good afternoon, everybody. So quick update on a series of videos we've been doing down at Fort Campbell. We go back to December of last year. There was a program called Heroes Make America. It's a military to manufacturing program for service members getting ready to exit the military that have an interest in manufacturing to go through the process where they obtain a certification in mechatronics, OSHA 10, or forklift operation. And unfortunately, the program at Fort Campbell dropped off. There's still a program at a few other installations, but the one here at Fort Campbell is now virtual. And so in order to try to keep that connection between the communities, we started talking to the folks at Fort Campbell and said, hey, we can't bring the military to the manufacturers. How do we bring the manufacturers to the military? So this is like kind of a two-part phase. The first part was bringing folks in to actually meet with the service members. And so we have an opportunity at the last Tuesday of each month, 3 to 4 local employers come in and talk to the service members about their local and global economic impact, their career opportunities and employee benefits. And so it's a really great low risk, stress-free way for those service members to meet a local employer, meet an HR professional, industry professional, and have a great conversation and expand the professional network. So what we've done is, and we started doing it very generic. I say generic. My $1,200 phone is not really generic, right? But I just flip my phone around selfie style with my iPhone to get the first couple done and see how it was going to go. I think it's gone pretty well. Sheila has asked us to start formalizing the process, start posting these videos on the YouTube page, but I've done a couple so far. We've had Casey Jones Distillery, Wabash, Stanley Engineered Fastening, Easy Access, and Plymouth Tube Company, which I've not yet posted Easy Access and Plymouth Tube, but we have a few other that I've posted to my LinkedIn page. And so these kind of lead into the other event I mentioned, which is when we bring those companies in to meet face-to-face with the service members. Post one of these a few weeks in advance. Hopefully these are some of the employers that can come down and meet with them. And if not, it's okay. They still get exposure to the local community. So this has been a great program in partnership with our friends at Southwest Kentucky EDC. And again, I think they're about 2 to 3 minutes long, each video. They vary. I'm not going to take up all your time with this one, but Tim, if you want to hit play, we'll see a couple seconds at the beginning here. Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Derek Poor Life, No Money, your veteran transition liaison for the West Kentucky Workforce Board. Most of the time I'm at Fort Campbell. We're transition service members. Today, however, I'm in Hopkinsville, Kentucky at Stanley Engineered Fastening with my friends Jana and Jonathan.
Hey, what's going on? Welcome to Stanley.
Jana, if you could tell me a little bit about what you do here and what kind of products that you manufacture.
Okay, so we are known as Stanley Engineered Fastening, one of the business units of the bigger Black & Decker. And what we make here is fasteners, rivets, neo bolts. They go into products all the way from little cell phones to big solar panels that we have a big acreage on the right side of our location here. But we employ about 160 people and always looking for good skilled mechanics and maintenance guys.
Okay, so I know I've seen you at Fort Campbell a couple of times. Some of the employer.
So the next thing
events,
you're going to hear is
and
a,
at, some of the Tap into Opportunity Manufacturing Seminar events. We're wanting to get you back down there for one of those.
is me still talking.
Tell me, what kind of individuals are you
That's sort of
looking for?
weird,
as far as- It's like a movie, Inception, right? It's a dream within a dream. All right, so next, we're gonna skip to about the 2-minute mark, okay? So the great thing about this is when we have the HR professional speak to what they do, what their role is, what the products are, but then also have a veteran to talk about their experience going through that transition process. Time in the military, how that assisted you in your transition to the civilian world and what you're doing here at Stanley.
So the biggest gains from being in the military was the leadership and the planning, as well as the work ethic. Not being scared to get up and get after it first thing in the morning. And then the training as well. I served as an instructor at Airborne Warfare School at Fort Hood for 3 years, which gave me a strong insight onto the need of training and how to get people to understand different aspects of things. So crossing over from any service, any MOS, as long as you have the right training program, it's not that big of a leap.
Okay, and so
Hey, Tim.
we were talking earlier, you said you're not originally from the area, right?
I am not.
All right, so that kind of gives you, I should have warned everybody, maybe take some Dramamine, I guess, beforehand, something for the nausea. I apologize for that. But essentially, this is kind of the event. This is what we're running with. So we've posted a couple, like I said, I've got a couple I've not yet posted. We are going to formalize the process, so it won't be quite so shaky. We might invest in like a tripod or something really highfalutin like that. I don't know. All that being said, if you would like to participate, if you or a company would like to participate in either the in-person events or the videos, please let me know. Also want to mention October 17th and 18th, we have the Fort Campbell Jumbo Job Fair. You should have already received information about it from somebody at Fort Campbell, Mr. Corey Wingfield. If you didn't, if you would like to participate, if you have a company or business like to participate, please reach out to me. I'll get you plugged in. Thanks a lot.
If you don't mind, while we're on the workforce topic, just wanted to make you all aware, because I know that you all that are in this room speak regularly with your state legislators. You all know we're one of 10 workforce boards across the state, and the leadership of those workforce boards will be testifying before the A&R committee, the interim joint A&R committee. I think, Tammy, is that on September the 28th? Yes, okay. September the 28th, and just talking about funding for the workforce areas across the state. One thing, and I know you probably heard Sheila talk about this before, is that 100% of the funds that Kentucky has to do workforce programs are federal funds. And because of that, you all know how federal funds are. You're basically in a little box of things that you can do with those federal funds. So the states that we have looked at, those states that do it the right way, those states that have the programs that take place are ones that the states invest in workforce development as well, that the states put funding into workforce programs that is more flexible than those federal dollars. So they will be asking the legislature to consider matching. I don't know if you want to use the term matching or not, but putting some additional state funds. I mean, we're in we have unique workforce challenges right now, right? It's something that we haven't, these are type challenges that we really haven't dealt with before. So we need to develop some unique programs that can help us solve this workforce issue. So just wanted you all to be aware, in case your state legislator does ask you a question about it, you'll know a little bit about what's taking place there. So.
All right, thank you all. Next on the agenda, we have our monthly code of ethics report, and we have no issues to report. And now we get to listen to Dr. Tim Todd, the provost at Murray State University, and Dr. Brian Parr, the dean of agriculture at Murray State. Please come and share with us the exciting news.
Thank you so much. And Jason, thank you for the invitation. It's always an honor for me to be able to come back to this region of Kentucky, because this region of Kentucky is my home. I grew up in Dawson Springs. My first job was at Mike's IGA. My second job, Judge, was at Warrior Coal. My third job was at Kentucky Utilities. So this region of Kentucky means a whole lot to me. And I'm honored to, as Jason knows all of my history and probably some things that we don't want to talk about. But it's an honor to come back and to be part of what I consider home. I'm also honored to introduce to you the Dean of the Hudson School of Agriculture, Dr. Brian Parr. Dr. Parr and I drove up here together, obviously, just a little while ago, and I apologize for pushing the time. But Dr. Parr has been at Murray State for about 8 or 9 years. He just became dean here in the last few months. He does a tremendous job in the teaching he does, and the research and scholarship activity and the service activity. And now he's the dean of the Hudson School of Ag. There are 7 deans at Murray State University. I want to say publicly, Dr. Parr, you're my favorite dean. So you're number 1. All right. So with that being said, what he's going to share with you, I've been at Murray State for 29 years. And I thought I'd go, being a graduate of that other school in Bowling Green, I'm surprised they even interviewed me. But I've been there 29 years and most of my career is now behind me. But in my 29 years, I've been blessed to be a part of several exciting initiatives. But ladies and gentlemen, what Dr. Parr is going to share with you is the most exciting initiative that I know of, at least in the 29 years I've been honored and blessed to be a part of Murray State University in this region of Kentucky. And I think you're going to find it extremely exciting as well. So Dr. Parr, without further ado.
Dr. Todd, before Dr. Parr comes up, didn't I just recently see in the news that Murray State has its largest freshman class in history?
That is correct. The largest in our 101-year history is this year. Our enrollments are very, very strong this year. That's good for the region. It's good for the job market. And frankly, it's good for the university budget. So we're all pleased with all of those fronts. I appreciate that, Jason, very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Barton.
Thank you, Dr. Todd. I thought certainly whenever he said there were 7 deans and he was going to say something about me, that he was going to say I was one of them. Mr. Green. I'd like to say I'm proud to see my very favorite bus driving mayor in the crowd today too, Mr. Green, and probably my favorite calf or steer roping judge in the crowd too there, Judge Gillum. It's definitely a pleasure to get this opportunity to address this group. As Dr. Todd mentioned, recently I've become the dean of the Hudson School of Agriculture, and that's something that I'm very happy about and very excited about where the future is going to take us at Murray State University, and specifically within the realm of agriculture. A lot of exciting things that are happening. I have been there for the last 8 years, a little over 8 years as assistant dean. Of course, Dr. Tony Brandon, which many of you probably knew, had spent 34 and a half years at Murray State and was a phenomenal mentor and did a great job there. Who recently retired. He retired back in January, and so I've been the interim since January 1, and then became the dean July 1. But before that, and I actually spent another stint at Murray State 2004 to 2006, and then took a little tour through the Southeast. Taught at the University of Georgia, and then 7 years at Auburn, and then back up to Murray State here in 2015. And as Dr. Todd said, there's some very exciting things going on that are really like a once in a career type of things that are happening right now with Murray State. And I was asked to give just a little bit of an update, and I'll be brief about these updates, but there's a lot of new faces. Of course, as time goes on, it brings changes, and a lot of these changes are very positive, and a lot of these people that we have on our faculty and our staff, I'm very excited about. We have a brand new associate dean here. I have a picture of Dr. Shapor on our second slide. Our associate dean, Dr. Shapor, she's been with Murray State for about 12 years now, but she is an equine scientist by trade, and she's the department chair also of the Animal and Equine Science Department, and now serving as our associate dean for the Hudson School of Agriculture. Very, very capable and competent, and just a great person to work with. Very proud to have Dr. Poor. A lot of the things that we've been doing are focused on our next slide here, as was just mentioned, recruitment efforts, and they are definitely paying off. We have the largest freshman class across campus, but also the largest freshman class in the Hudson School of Agriculture. Now we're up to right at 1,400 students in agriculture, and that's really a very sizable unit on our campus. 1,400 students and spanning 3 different departments. But a lot of this comes from efforts out of your area where we see, and I give I give Mayor Green a hard time there about being a bus driver, but he's brought a lot of kids over there over the years, and so have several of you in the room have supported kids of coming over there to things like field day and the FFA competition, and really we feel like that's really paid off of getting us up nearly to 1,400 students and having right at 300 brand new students in agriculture this semester. And so we're really proud of those numbers. Okay, let's move forward. Our graduate program has grown by leaps and bounds, and this is a pretty amazing program too. Speaking of times and how they change, when I came back to Murray State in 2015, we had about 30 master's students in agriculture, and most of them were face-to-face students. Well, with really the web classes taking off and the demand for those web classes just increasing every year, we've been able to expand into a master's of specialists and even a doctoral program that has around 200 students or just over 200 students this semester. And so under the old model of having all those students come study with a specific advisor, this would not be possible. But under the new model of working with students that are primarily already in their profession and looking to be upwardly mobile in their profession, and by getting an advanced degree, it's been very doable. And so we're very thankful to have had forward-looking administrators like our provost Todd that have paved the way for us to make programs like this a possibility for students who may attend these type of programs while remaining in the workforce, which I think is a great benefit. Most of these are online. I would guess out of our 200 plus students, the plus is on campus. And that's about 220 or so, 20 or 30 of those are on campus. And the rest are really working professionals that are in our degree programs. We may have some in the audience here today. All right, we'll move to the next. We are divided into 3 different departments: the agricultural science department, an animal equine science department, and then a pre-vet vet tech department. Our agricultural science department includes really everything that doesn't include an animal. This is an agronomy professor and some agronomy students that are looking at some things here in the field, but we have lots of new partnerships, and we're very, very happy about these industry partnerships. And this is just a few names here. There's about 20 different companies that we partner with on crops research and other ventures there on campus. And really it's made this connection. You know, there's a big buzzwords in higher education today are these P3 partnerships of looking at public and private type partnerships, but really we've been doing this for a long time in agricultural research, especially there at Murray State. And that model has been adopted among all institutes of higher education in agriculture across the country, is to bring these companies on campus to allow our scientists to do some third-party impartial research to be able to return results to those companies for the benefit of their clients, and in order to test these new products, whether it's new chemicals or what have you there on campus. And so we're very happy about that situation. Okay. Our animal equine science department is evolving as well. We have a new focus on our poultry science education, of course, huge to our region of agriculture, animal agriculture here. And also we have a new meat scientist that is on our faculty there that's increasing our meat science offerings. And we're very excited about what's coming. We have some national attention coming with the National Horsemen's Association convention coming next year. And so we're really excited about the things that are happening. On our next slide, we see our next slide. On this slide, we'll talk about pre-vet vet tech. Pre-vet and vet tech, and really this is one of the few programs in the state that exists. We have the largest pre-vet vet tech program in the state. We have really only one of 3 vet tech programs in the state. There's one at Moorhead, there's one in the 2-year community college, and in ours. And so we definitely have the largest pre-vet and vet tech program with somewhere around 430 students that are studying in these 2 programs combined. and really it's heavier on the pre-vet than it is the vet tech, about 260, 270 in pre-vet. And so we definitely have a high interest in veterinary education. And that's part of the announcement of what we're going to talk about today is the possibility of a vet school being located there at Murray State. And so this is a big piece of what that's built on. We have some experts that are there that are ready. We have student demand that is already built. We have, of course, without having a vet school across the state, we have the issue of having to send our students out of state in order to get that education. And we're just so excited about this possibility. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in just a second. But our next slide features a member of your community right here with our BVC lab. And as you know, it's one of the only BSL level 3 labs in the country and the only one in the state dedicated to veterinary education. And it's just an amazing facility here in Hopkinsville that we want to integrate further into undergraduate and now vet school education. And so looking at how we use those scientists in a better way for the help of our students in order to get them through this veterinary education is a part of the task. But we're very happy about this facility and you know, it's a pretty amazing facility compared to the old one, but it's a pretty amazing that we have it at all. It's just a wonderful asset to our community, to our region, to animal agriculture, and to Murray State and the Hudson School of Agriculture. Okay, as we move forward, we've just wanted to highlight a couple of the things that we have around the region. This Eagle Rest Farm is over in Ballard County. It's a 550-acre farm that we're hosting student interns and doing crop research on. And we have a project there with some local FFA chapters. And just to show that we're branching out, this was a wonderful gift a few years ago. And so we're happy to see where it goes to. And then on the next slide, we just have some pictures of some new property that we've recently acquired. And of course, we're somewhere around 600 acres in crops research, and every acre that we have is in some sort of a field trial. It's not all in very small plot trials, but it's in some sort of a field trial that we do in conjunction with industry in order to feed that data back to them and to help support our programs and to be there as an educational outlet and opportunity for our students. I think it's just a phenomenal resource and a great relationship. The next slide features our newly named. I just came from the signing ceremony this morning where the Doran family provide an endowment and the naming for the Arboretum there at Murray State. Many of you probably have visited the Arboretum. It'll now be known as the Doran Arboretum at Murray State University. And so we're very thankful for that. Just a quick focus on the next slide of some of our things going on. We've got a great rodeo team put together this year with some very, very talented individuals. I think we can look for some very high performing kids on this students on this rodeo team. And there's one of them right there that is very, very highly ranked in the professional rodeo world already and comes into us as a freshman. We have a new interim coach and the job position is out. If you're interested in becoming the full-time rodeo coach at Murray State, I encourage you to apply. We'd love to have you. And it's a pretty exciting opportunity to be involved with right now. And we'll go to the next slide and talk about a few things for the vision for the future. I think, you know, we're the Hudson School of Agriculture. It's my vision to become the Hudson College of Agriculture. I think our growth has warranted that. And I think that's the next step. We have some very exciting renovations. I don't know if many of you have been in the Oakley Applied Science building, but it's due a few renovations. And we have about $14 million, I think, Mr. Green, that we're going to spend on that building in order to bring it up to a little better standards for our students. And also the Agriculture Expo, the Bill Cherry Agriculture Expo Center has about $4 million slated for improvements, and we continue to improve our properties. But the thing I want to talk about right now is this proposition of a vet school. And so, you know, this, as I talk to different groups, I mean, you guys may be fully aware, but I run across people every day that had no idea that we did not have a vet school in the state of Kentucky. As a matter of fact, the most common answer that I get or response is, you know, this will be in addition to maybe to the vet school at the University of Kentucky. Well, there's no vet school at the University of Kentucky. There's no vet school in the state of Kentucky at all. We've had a long-standing agreement with Auburn University and Tuskegee University that has been a good agreement, that's served our students well, where our state pays the out-of-state portion of the tuition for our students for a limited number of students, I might add, to attend vet school at Auburn at Tuskegee. And that has been a wonderful relation. But you have to look at what's going on in the landscape of animal agriculture today. And it doesn't take long to realize that we have a shortage of veterinarians. We certainly have a shortage of large animal veterinarians. If you're looking for somebody to treat a horse or a cow, matter of fact, Dr. Laster drives from Todd County right past my house every week, all the way from Todd County through Murray, Kentucky, down into Henry County, Tennessee, to work on dairy cows, because he's the one that can get to come all the way from over there at Elkton. And so we're glad that he does it, but there's no doubt that we have a severe shortage, especially in the large animal sector. And so that's part of what we want to address with this new vet schools. We have a feasibility study in progress right now. I get about half a dozen emails a day from the group out of Georgia, Peak and Associates, that are doing our feasibility study, that are looking at what it would mean to our state and our region financially, what it would mean to our students as far as the demand and what we can expect. And, you know, I've told this story a lot of times, that when I was at Auburn, I was at Murray State for a couple of years, and then when I was at Auburn, I was talking to the current dean of the College of Veterinary Medicine at Auburn, and he said, you know, one of the greatest factors that predict success in Auburn College of Veterinary Medicine is that a student would be from Kentucky. And I thought, well, that's a real compliment. You know, there was no doubt that that's a great compliment, but it later kind of hit me also what that means. When we look at the number of seats that were reserved for Kentucky students versus the number of seats that were reserved for Alabama students, it put it in a little bit different perspective of, well, they are successful, but we're taking really just the best of the best of the best, which is no doubt shutting out a few of our students every year that would have made great veterinarians had we had the extra capacity to be able to see them go through veterinary school. And so hopefully that's what this process and this new school is going to be able to afford them. It's a little different model. Now, I don't know how familiar you are with vet schools, but the traditional model of vet school includes large veterinary teaching hospitals, maybe small animal and large animal. But the current trend in veterinary colleges and schools is to move more to a distributed approach that doesn't rely on a large animal teaching hospital on campus, but relies on vet clinics within a 50 or 60 mile radius to take these students as interns as they move through these different rotations in vet school. And that's what we're going to propose on this one, which greatly improves the feasibility of the school actually being able to be built and being able to happen. And really, it's not just a model that's set out to cut corners on costs. It really is a predominant model in veterinary education today. It really is how we're seeing most of the new schools be built. And you know, if we think about it, I send a lot of students out every year for internships, and a lot of your businesses in your communities that deal with high-tech agriculture, especially in the agronomy field, looking at smart planters and harvesters and drone technology and remote sensing. It only makes sense that I send them to those businesses in order to get that last piece of knowledge that's built on the current and up-to-date technology, as opposed to trying to maintain that in a lab setting at Murray State. And so this is built upon really the same principle of we're going into the community, ingraining these future veterinarians in the community as they become a part of that veterinary medicine circle that is in our region and in our state. And so I think that it has a ton of benefits and opportunities that could be even better, really, than what the traditional approach had been that involved those veterinary teaching hospitals. And so pretty excited about that. As you saw, maybe we put out the press release that named our task force. If you notice, there's a lot of people that are definitely influential across our state, really just not just Western Kentucky, but across our state, that are in big support of this type of a venture. And we're really excited to see where it takes us. And as I mentioned, I field emails every single day. Our group is working diligently. It's our goal to have this feasibility study concluded by around Thanksgiving, and to be able to go into the first of next year with kind of a game plan of how we're going to move forward on pursuing funding, and to be able to look at those models that may help us to really conceptualize this school in the next year. And so I don't know, everybody asks me when can my son or daughter start vet school at Murray State? Well, that's a tough question. I think I'm gonna let Dr. Todd make the promises on that one. But you know, it's probably a four-year process before we would see students admitted into a veterinary school. But you know, that's we start where we're at, and I think we have a good start, and I think that we have a lot of momentum. And with that, I'll take any questions that you might have, or I'll defer to Dr. Todd if they're too hard.
Dr. Carr, what can we do as a region or as local officials, as community leaders to help with this? You know, we're fortunate. You've already mentioned the veterinary center and having that here in our region. But what can we do as a group to assist you all with this process?
Well, I think that your involvement is very important, very vital as we're looking at two different areas. And of course, there's always the funding area, you know, of having that access to those federal or state potential funds that we look at through your groups, but also just that buy-in from the veterinary, the animal agriculture community in order to be able to support something like this. And I say that kind of with some confidence because so far it's been extremely positive. You know, I haven't really talked to a veterinarian yet that said that's just a terrible idea. You know, you guys shouldn't do that. And maybe they're just out there, they just haven't told me yet. But at any rate, the buy-in from that community, from those that would host these students, because this model is definitely built on the dependence on those current practicing veterinarians being able to take these students and give them these experiences. And so getting that buy-in from those veterinarians and those folks that are involved in animal agriculture is definitely key to what we're trying to do. Anyone else? All right. Well, thank you so much for letting me come today. And I appreciate Dr. Todd being here today. And if you have anything you'd like to ask us, I'm sure we'll hang around and talk to you. Thanks.
Dr. Todd, did you have anything else? You good? Well, listen, thank you all for being here and just, wow, tons of information. Makes me proud to be a racer twice. In your packet, I just have just a couple of things and we'll get you all out of here. In your packet, I mentioned this last month, you do see a information about our annual Pride of the Pennyrile Industry Appreciation event that will also be taking place on September the 28th down at Lake Barkley. We already have a couple of you all signed up to join us for that event. We've got a good group of industry that have already signed up. So we would love to have you all as our board and community leaders join us down there that day to show appreciation to our industry. Amy's already mentioned the important transportation committee meeting tomorrow. If you didn't have that on your calendar, and I know that Angela did a great job sending information out to everyone. So hopefully you'll be here tomorrow. And then October, we will not be having a board meeting in October. So you can go ahead and strike that off your calendar, really for a number of reasons. That Monday is Columbus Day, number one. Number two, I think that falls in fall break for a lot of us in the room. And then number three, and as you all can tell when folks are up here speaking, we are going to be replacing a lot of our audio visual equipment here in this room, hopefully over the next couple of months, basically replacing the core of the operating system, as well as new projectors and things of that nature. So hopefully when we're back in November, we'll have new equipment and won't be having any issues with our AV stuff. So does anyone have any questions for me? Well, as always, thank you for being here and thank you for continuing to support the Pennyrile Area Development District.
All right. Does anyone else have any other business? If not, we need a motion to adjourn. So moved.